Hey there folks, I know it's a little bit early in the morning, but I thought I would have a little chat with you about the latest Marvel movie, which is Doctor Strange, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. But first, let's sing my theme tune. Here goes. Are you ready for this? The gold screen with Goldy Loxx, the gold screen with Goldy Loxx, the gold screen with Goldy Loxx. Everybody fuck off, or shut up, depends what you fancy. Shut up, fuck off. Hey Emily, how's the little tiny little squishy one? I want to squish it. So yeah, new Marvel movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch, and the plot is you got this pompous, smart-ass neurosurgeon, Dr. Stephen Strange, who's a complete idiot and texts while he's driving, and therefore has a horrible crash. Now, he's an idiot. Yeah, this is a terrible thing. Don't text and drive and mess about. So yeah, the consequence is that his precious hands that he needs for neurosurgery are completely written off, and he can't do his favourite thing ever, which is cut up brains. So he goes a bit bonkers, and because he can't do his work, and he ends up finding some mystic magical monks somewhere really far away, led by Tilda Swinton, who's bald and kind of looks like the last airbender, and in order to mend him, he has to learn about this kind of mystical, other-realmly, magical, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey demon thing that's, like, really weird and very un-Marvel. In general, it looks really different to any of the other Marvel movies, although there's a lot of similarities. Personally, the character obviously has been compared a lot to Iron Man. I didn't like the character that much. I don't think you're meant to like him. He's pretty dislikable at the beginning, which is weird because generally Benedict Cumberbatch is really good at playing the kind of irritating, pompous, smart ass that you kind of love to like, but I didn't really get behind him. And I found his aesthetic and the whole thing, like the whole monk thing, it reminds me of the beginning of Batman Begins, which I've never been that far behind. So yeah, it wasn't really one that I was that crazy on. Hello Ophelia, how are you this morning? As you can see, I haven't quite got over Halloween yet, but you know, it's only 363 days till next Halloween, is that right? So yeah, the look as well. He's wearing these trainers that seem a bit off kilter with this kind of monk costume and then a massive cape. And initially I thought it was going to be quite steampunk and quite amusing, and it didn't really work for me. I did like his cloak though, which reminds me quite a lot of Aladdin's carpet. It kind of has a very big personality of its own, which is quite impressive. So I would say it's got more personalities than like the villain, for example, who's completely two-dimensional. And it kind of has quite a good comedic timing, this cloak, which is something I never thought I'd say. And it's nice to have that in there. Yeah, so typical thing of the smart ass that gets weakened and then has to learn through his problems. That's kind of a Marvel staple, and it does really follow the Marvel formula for a movie. Oh yeah, I haven't had coffee yet either, can you tell? Can't wait for my coffee. It is nice to see Benedict Cumberbatch as a leading man in America. That's something he hasn't done a lot of. You know, it's a massive franchise and we haven't seen him do a lot, and it's nice to see him added to that kind of stable of Marvel lead characters, because he's great generally. So that's always nice to see. I did think Tilda Swinton did a good job too. She had a kind of inscrutable smile, and you never quite knew if she was as good as you were meant to believe initially. I found her, it's nice to have a really powerful female character as well, because there weren't that many others. I mean, the love interest was a bit here and all there, so it's good to have her in there. Yeah, oh okay, Benedict Cumberbatch's accent, which I thought he did a pretty good job of compared to a lot of these American horror story accents that we've been hearing recently. But I'm English, so an English person doing American I'm not going to notice the problems with. I don't know how the American audience feel. Do you think they should have got an American person to play an American character, or do you think they should have just let him be English? I don't know. I mean, I know that, like, for example, Renee Zellweger's English accent doesn't work for me, so it's interesting, I always think, to see how it plays in the home country. Also, I don't know how big Benedict Cumberbatch is in America. I think he's quite big, but is he a lead man big? Really should have talked about this already, I guess, but the visual effects in this film are pretty stunning. There's the odd bit where you kind of go, that looks a bit, like, weird. Like, somebody fell at one point and I didn't feel it had any weight behind it, which sometimes isn't a problem because they're floating about in time and space. It does feel a bit like Rick and Morty in places. It's very, like, bendy wendy, kind of hippie, magical mandalas stuff. I really quite like the psychedelic stuff. I thought it was quite interesting, particularly for a Marvel film, and I like that look. I also did like the kind of Inception bending of reality. That was interesting as well. It looks really impressive. Apparently it's even better in 3D. I saw it in 2D. Yeah, she does sound terrible with an English accent, doesn't she? Generally, Americans are not as good at doing English accents as they think. Because we don't all talk like this, do we, governor? Sorry, that was terrible. But yes, visually, it's definitely something very different. However, the plot, I felt really just did A, B, C of the Marvel formula, and I just wanted a little bit more from it. I wanted more character from Benedict Cumberbatch's character, or more likeable character. I just, like, the humour, I felt like with that type of vision, you really needed to have a stronger sense of humour behind it, and I didn't get that from it. And although I completely didn't have a problem and I enjoyed watching it, didn't get bored, particularly, it's a little long, but mostly really enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I wanted it to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy standard, or Ant-Man, which I really enjoyed, or Deadpool, and I think it more slotted in like a kind of mid-level Thor, which, you know, makes a lot of money. It's probably going to make a lot of money. And it's nice to see them do something a bit different, even though my problem was that it was a bit too samey. Overall, my dad, I know, will really like it. I'd like to take him along and see what he thinks of it, because I think he'll really enjoy it. Would have liked more humour, kind of behind the trippy, psychedelic, hippie vibes of it, and the look of it was really impressive. I have a bit of a problem with the whole spiritual, magical thing. Just doesn't really work for me, but if you love it, then you love it, so I'm sure it really works for some people. It seemed to be a bit weird, because it was trying to be quite artsy, but at the same time it had that classic Marvel pulpy feel to it, very mainstream. But yeah, it's always nice to see them do something a little bit different. All in all, though, I'm most excited about the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which should be coming soon. What did you guys think? If you've seen it, let me know in the comments after this video. And have a fabulous Wednesday. And I'm dressed as Wednesday. That is a coincidence. Yeah, so remember how the song goes? The gold screen with Goldy Loxx. The gold screen with Goldy Loxx. The gold screen with Goldy Loxx. Now you can just fuck off. Fuck off.